our third speaker, Mr. Mallika Arjuna. Mr. Mallika Arjuna is a versatile and multifaceted healthcare professional. He has accomplished international awards in project management and presented in global forums and author. His skills include client engagement to enterprise application development to analytics and people management. We welcome you, sir, and over to you for the further talk.
Welcome all. This is Malik from Kindle, ex-IBM employee and CTO of Apollo Hospitals in the past. So I welcome all of you for National Healthcare Conference 2021. So next few minutes, I'll be sharing my best practices, one as a technology architect, as well as researcher, and also a parent of an autistic child who had been experienced real life experiential sharings and started working on some innovations, and also sharing as a medical practitioner, a child intervention specialist. So looking at the whole summary, I'm not giving much about the introduction, but looking at the whole journey, what I have took, it is almost 25 years I have been connected with healthcare and IT industry, which makes me more confident to be a mentor for many of the students or even co-practitioners who are in the industry. So myself being an academic ambassador from the organization which I'm representing, Kyndryl. So let me give you a little bit more about the Kyndryl company. So this is a spin-off from IBM, which started just September 2021 this year with 90,000 employees and 4,000 plus clients. The first startup in the world with the largest clients and number of employees. And this is focusing on most advanced technologies, primarily class 4.0 industry technologies. We'll talk a little bit more about technology that we are going to share in this entire session. So coming to the agenda, I'll be spending time on three areas. One is about lean health study, that is pertaining to neurodiversity, early intervention, autism, Down syndrome, dyslexia, and ADHD. So as I mentioned, if you look at my profile, you will see either a doctor or an engineer. Being a specimen, I achieved both. So being a practitioner of IT architect for more than 2 decades, and also from my kids' learnings as a parent of a neurodiversity autistic child, I myself converted into a healthcare domain expert by doing my master's in healthcare from BITS Pilani, CMC Vellore, and Mumbai Hospital. It's a giant program, and in fact, it's the first program in India which specialized on hospital and health systems, and also completing my post-graduation in early intervention. This is another specialization which talks about case management, especially those who are pursuing academics and focusing on neurodiversity. I'll give a little bit insights how you can put your career. So now looking at the second point, it gives you a glimpse on global university programs, micro-credential courses for healthcare fraternity. Especially this is applicable to all students, doctors, pharmacists, nurses, and even faculty. So these are short-term micro-credential courses which are launched just this September globally, and same for even India. And then we'll talk a little bit about new technology innovations from the industry, which I have been practicing or even using it as a parent or even studying to bring best out of these solutions. Especially when I'm talking about here, I'm wearing cap of three areas. One, a technical architect who have been designing solutions for healthcare last 20 plus years. And second is about academic ambassador who has been mentor working with various universities, representing my old company IBM and the current company even Kyndryl. And third is about completely a child development intervention specialist, being a part of you like working with children in transforming from them dependent to independent. But primarily, as I mentioned, my whole focus would be towards neurodiversity pertaining to autism, Down syndrome, dyslexia, and ADHD. So these are the three areas which I'll try to focus on. So if you look at in healthcare, there is a proverb, prevention is better than cure. But when it comes to my lean health study, because I said I have been doing independent research on these children how do we transform them? So in case of neurodiversity, research indicates early intervention is half cure. We'll discuss in detail what is this means. I'll explain you the lean via mappings, which I have been value stream, which areas you need to focus on when you plan a kid who is diagnosed with any challenges. It could be neurodiversity or any developmental delays. While transforming them, what are the areas that we need to focus on? But before going to the core topic, I'll spend few minutes giving you the technology journey. As I mentioned, being a technical architect, designing solutions and deploying globally. So we'll see the transformational shift, what is the current industry is focusing on. So if you look at the history, the stethoscope, which every doctor's utility, without stethoscope, there is no doctor. So this has been invented in 1816 by Dr. Reni from a French doctor who was diagnosing one woman or female when she expressed her heart problems. So why we are taking this as a reference is if you look at history, it's more than 100 years our healthcare domain has been transformed in using technology. So there is a perception whether technology will create any conflict of interest in medical practices. The answer is no. So technology is an utility which enhances the entire medical practices. So doctor remains the person who will be treating any illness. It could be chronic or long term or even any viral infections or epidemic situations. So patient and doctor relationship remains the same, but technology helps you to bring you more accuracy and then help you to see what best you can do in your area of complete treatment that you are going on. So now looking at the market forces, they are looking for new approaches. So they want to shift from local to national and global context. That means globalization is coming up. So e-record, pandemic, so completely remote consulting, security of data, privacy of patient records, huge data storage happening almost every 45 days. The data of healthcare globally is getting doubled, which is the highest industry where data in duplication or multiplication is happening. So now changing demographics and lifestyles. So technology is helping most of the practitioners, irrespective of which lifestyle they follow or even any geography they belong to. Even cutting down the cost or even focusing on more emerging areas where you can do more research is another area. And third is about empowering consumers, expecting better value, quality, and outputs, and shortage of resources. This is a key. So, especially country like India, which is second largest population, we need to focus more on using workforce in a better optimization. So, when we talk about new technologies, AI is one thing which is completely changing the transformational shift. We'll discuss in detail and explain you the best outputs which you feel that you can start adapting. But at the end of the day, technology will help you out in terms of increasing your productivity, balancing your workforce, and increasing your efficiency. And now coming back to healthcare treatment, every day you keep on seeing new concepts coming up. So new players are coming up. When it comes to cancer, you talk about PET CT. When you come to cardiac PACS, when it comes to health checkups, master health checkups. So when you have more number of patients coming in, not only from your appointment system, working on multiple departments within the hospital, you are expected to balance the satisfaction. At the end of the day, patient centric is the solution that you need to look at. So when we design any technical solution, patient remains the focus, whether it is a payer or a provider. That means hospital or an insurance person, because customer is nothing but the patient here. You need to have a proper satisfaction and make sure that you cut down the turnaround times or even the waiting period, and you use your ability, because as we mentioned already, we have a shortage of medical practitioners. How do you do? controlling that. So use technology, you balance, minimize the waste wherever the process mappings when you do, or even one department to another department coordination, so that you don't see any surprises. But at the end of the day, whether a technologist speak or an architect speak or even doctor or even any facilitator should focus on patient centric. And this is specifically very much important to all the students, because we always talk about I am good or another doctor is good or different hospital is good. But at the end of the day, patient choose a doctor who support best service and which is a hospital patient centric. So I'm not talking about any technical areas. On screen you can see some of the points which we try to focus while designing in the systems building when it is talking about the large enterprise or sustainable solutions. So this is another area. So irrespective of domain, hospital also have operations. You have a leadership, finance team, or even doctors and patients coordination. At the end of the day, you need to make sure that you do proper coordination, and you need to reduce your turnaround times and also give the best cost optimization for the patient, because majority of the hospitals depend on the payer services, that is insurance claims. So unless you have a standardization in your offerings or even better coordination, but unfortunately there are some things which happened in the past. For example, I'll give a very simple example how technology made a simple shift in payer insurance. We had one client, I'm not taking the name of the client because of the confidentiality. So in fact, I started my career as a founding team of FHPL, the first TPA of Asia, which started coordinating with more than 4,000 hospitals in entire Asia, both international and national patients and hospitals, coordinating the claims processing. So as I mentioned, we have one client whose employees are around 10,000, and their dependents, 4 people in a family, are covered through insurance. So as a part of our insurance coverage, we print ID cards. I'm talking about early 2002 and 2003, where health insurance and the TPA concept introduced in the Indian market. So we printed 50,000 ID cards and we started distributing. We kept a counter in the entire company canteen, their entrance, security, workplace, every area. But at the end of the year, we realized we could able to distribute only 10% of their ID cards. So now second year renewal happened and we are expected to do print another 50,000 ID cards. But if someone like you is a solution architect, do you really feel that printing another 50,000 ID cards will really make you optimizing or cross-saying or a value add in the entire process? So what we did is 90 days of time, we took extra buffer from HR and we collected the entire database of the HR and we shooted out emails. That days even we didn't have mails. So it was MS Office mail merging and SMTP, which we sent mass mailing to all 10,000 employees. When we started realizing the responses, some people started calling from Germany saying that I'm in Germany, but my entire address is in India. So that company totally, because of the technology, data cleaning, they corrected their entire HR database. See, the problem identified there is each employee who have traveled from one location to other location, they have a local and global IDs. So the updation of content in their HR database did not happen. So now what we did is, instead of printing again, we introduced the concept of e-card. So today everybody is using digital card or e-card, which started way back in 2002 and then even IRDA adopted it. So we took the HR database, the updated one. Whenever anybody wants ID card to be carried, they can browse online through their employee ID and they can print it up. Like that, there are a lot of things, technology, small enhancement in your service, it will help you to change the complete transformational shift. Similarly, even today when you walk into hospital like Apollo, you see master health checkup. So I was one of the team member who co-designed that entire Master Health Checkup from Cardiovascular Disease Management Program. So CVDMP is a program which has been designed 15 to 18 years back, where the intent in that entire solution is monitor the patients of cardiosurgical completed patients. So almost 52 weeks, each patient is monitored. So basically here when I said patients, people who were in inpatient, completed their stenting or even any other cardiac surgeries, then they'll go back home and every week patient will go back and collect vitals of the patient, diagnose their current condition, do a quick counseling, and every quarterly patient will be invited for wellness programs. So like that, a group of patients has been studied, and later it is realized the people who are following wellness programs and close monitoring, the risk of reoccurrence or any other ailments is 40% better than people who are not following. So that means a wellness program for surgical people or any continuous monitoring of healthcare is very much essential. The same CVDMP with enhanced values, now it is operated as Master Health Checkup. The same is applicable to any healthcare institution. When you start any new service, you need to think of how do you optimize your turnaround times, how many patients you can consider treating them or consulting them per day. So you can take example of CMC Vellore. So in fact, I did my internship over there. I could be able to see their walk-in patients every day is more than 8,000. So you can imagine the number of samplings for blood tests, how they are collecting and all. But yes, we do agree the personal touch and feel from a doctor is very much essential, but technology always helps you to minimize the turnaround time and eliminate waste or do repeated activities. So now looking at the screen, we are talking about Industry 4.0 technologies. So look at the whole journey of last few decades. So as I mentioned, we started using stethoscope from 1816. So it's more than 100 years how the transformation happened. So initial days it was family, doctor comes and do face to face or do a medication or a giant group of people will have a camp kind of thing. Then digital imaging and working on completely science related or art education, especially when you bring awareness, there is no digital technology that time, neither radio or anything. So people explain through artwork or paintings or even books so that people read. Later, your technology, radio or even telephonic or television came as a media. This is all early 70s and 80s. So we are talking about 30 years back or 40 years back. And then satellite communication came in. Then early 80s, PC came into picture and then started globalization. Slowly dot-coms and internet come up. And then we talk about service sciences and social networking started early 2000. And now, what is the future? So, future for next a decade talks about Industry 4.0 technologies, which is nothing but primarily focus on 6 knowledge areas. That is CAMS, CAMSS, and AI: cloud, analytics, mobile, social, security, and AI. But primarily, it talks about 4 key areas which are pertaining to healthcare. That is cognitive computing, cloud and AI, data science, and IoT. So IoT is basically, this will really help you when you work on remote areas or remote monitoring. Especially, this has been proven the best solution during isolation wards monitoring by doctor remote with AI integrated solution 24/7 without contact method. So now whenever you go to any lab, so far we are talking about completely a contact method equipments. But now slowly the generation is getting changed. Micro sensors or even advanced technology, which is using advanced physics and AI integrated non-contact method solutions are coming up, like our thermal thermometer or even oximeter or even now for ECG and EEG also now you are getting completely non-contact method devices. Even sometimes you see surprise, portable devices are coming up. So 20 years back when I was designing solutions, I see two groups of doctors and that always happen. Some senior doctors always feel to scribe on a prescription and give the medication. And some doctors who keep traveling overseas keep asking me, when are you introducing any new technology? We want to practice it and we want to give the benefit to the customer. So we need to balance as a solution architects, designing both veterans as well as new generation doctors. But now majority of the faculty and students are in current generation where technology playing more important, but focus is more on cloud, AI and data science. So now